Same thing with a billboard. How much does a billboard cost and how much ROI can you track from that?
It's a
Almost
gamble.
zero.
Yeah.
What about, television and advertising? You going to tell me that that's better than, doing it on YouTube or
Mm-mm.
TikTok? Not at all. And welcome to another Google Business Buzz. I am Henry, and I am accompanied by my friend and distinguished colleague, Ajay. Good morning, my man.
Good morning, Henry, and good morning and good afternoon to all of our viewers.
Great, great. We got a good one here for you today. We will be talking basically about everything with regards to search engine marketing, to search engine optimization, and to social media marketing and advertising, because these are the most important layers for a business to be found online. These platforms, capture thousands and hundreds of thousands of views every day from local users. And local businesses need to be on these platforms. I'm talking Meta, Instagram, Facebook. I'm talking Google, LSA, Google Ads, local services ads. I'm talking organic, Google Maps, and on the Google organic list for any search that might relate to their business. It's very important to be everywhere where there are eyes, because eyes equal dollar signs, right? So, Ajay, I know that not every business is able to do that right off the bat, right? There are businesses that have different goals that they want to set out to establish, to make, to get and accomplish, and then they can move on to different goals, right? So, Jay, what are your thoughts regarding, business goals and how these platforms can help?
I think that business goals and platforms, understanding of those platforms must be in the same conversation. So everyone hopefully has checked out episode 1 by now. In episode 1, what my brother Henry and I did basically was look at the average small business, right? Homogenize and take the average example and say, how do you get started online? And that's great. It's directionally helpful for just about everyone. But now we need to go a little deeper. And like Henry is saying, no two businesses are exactly alike. There's a lot of variance by industry, seasonality, and depending on who you are and what you do. For example, the needs of a landscaper may be very different from the needs of a pet care business, may be very different from the needs of a restaurant. You're going to have different marketing goals. You should have different marketing goals based on what type of business you are and based on where you are in your own individual business journey. And so, what we're trying to do here, ladies and gentlemen, we're trying to break this down, this giant task ahead of us, into 4 subgroups, 4 very common types of customer that we see and interact with, in the hopes that you will relate to one of them and get a little bit more sense of direction as to where you're going on your own path based on which category of customer is more relatable to you and what it is that you do. So Henry, I think that's going to set us off, man. So you want to talk a little bit about scenario number 1 and our first ideal type of customer?
Sure, sure. So we see this a lot. Business owners contact OMG and they're looking to get calls fast. A lot of business owners that we deal with are local service uh, businesses, and they're used to paying for leads. They're used to paying for calls. They've either paid a lead generation service that is local to their area, or they've paid um, Angie's List, House, all of these, lead generation platforms, even Google. A lot of our clients have now tried their hand at Google. This is the quickest way to get calls, right? To pay for them, to pay to play. And paying Google ads and Facebook and Meta ads will get you to a place where you're not struggling to, build an organic foundation, because that can take time. You have to think of it like this. Paying for ads is going out and hunting. You're going out, you're making an effort to get your meal. And organic is farming, right? You have to give it time. You have to take care of your crop and cultivate. Because if you don't, you won't get anywhere and your crop won't build. But when you do it properly, you will be fed for the rest of your life, right? With an ongoing care and maintenance of the crop. And that's organic marketing. But when you need to eat, when you need that protein, you go out to hunt, don't you? And that's what Google ads, that's what Facebook and Instagram ads can do. Uh, the truth of the matter is most businesses don't last 2 years. Most new businesses don't get past that 2 year mark. And it's because many focus on things that can come later, right? Like building that organic presence on Facebook and Instagram. You might not need to take professional shots of every dish until you get people in the door, right? That's
Hmm.
what you need. You need to get people following, you need to get people in there trying it out, reviewing. Once you have that, then you can invest. And that's a lot of times, the case. When clients come in, we help them out building that advertising foundation, and then moving forward we do help them with that organic because it's it plays right into the organic side, right? If you're on Google ads, on Facebook and Instagram ads, and you're not doing, organic posting on your Instagram or your Facebook, then when people land on it, it's like a blank page. I've seen instances on Instagram where businesses, restaurants are advertising, but they don't have an Instagram page. It's an advertisement that's coming from their Facebook page, right? And that's the cool thing about Meta, that it allows you to do that, and you don't even have to have an Instagram page, but it doesn't look good. When I tried to go into that Instagram page, there was nothing there. There was
Nothing
no
there.
content. It was not a page. So I didn't go to that place, needless to say. But this is the beauty of ads, right? Google ads, Facebook and Instagram ads is basically a leads on demand kind of product. Even LSA, and you know that fully well, right? You can turn it on and you can turn it off. And as soon as you turn it on, you'll get those leads. And as soon as you turn it off, it's done, right? It's on demand. Whenever you want it, you got it. But you do have to pay to play. And if you don't set it up properly, let me tell you, Google will eat that budget up. They will take your money if you don't set it up properly. So you have to make sure to go in there and do the appropriate max bids per keyword and max bids per day and such, because if not, it'll just eat your budget. But yeah, that's what I think about, getting calls fast and Google Ads, like doing that first part for a small, startup business. I think makes a lot of sense. Having a good website for those ads is very important too, because Google and Meta both rank, your website. So if there are deficiencies on that website, it's going to affect the ad quality score. Now, that's something that, we can help with as well. And Google gives their users a lot of tools to be able to, get around these limitations. They, even on Google Business Profile, you can get a free website and use that to
Hmm.
to run ads with. Many people do it. So, it's available to everyone, right? But it is very much involved, and if you don't do it right, you can get scarred.
Don't do it right, you can get scarred. The story of a very common recurring theme, let's put it that way, that we hear. So to wrap up scenario one, to everyone listening and watching, the goal is to get calls fast. Now, what our customers want is not always aligned with what they need. As Henry said, he pulled out a fact that I want to zoom in on. Most businesses do not get past that 2 year milestone. So when we have a business approach us with an immediate need for inbound leads now, maybe they have a cash flow issue, they need to get people paid, they need those jobs coming in now. We're more than likely going to use paid advertising to accomplish this goal. Like Henry said, you can go Google ads. It depends on the industry. Go local services ads. It also depends how long it's been since that business was started, where and what they have going on prior. If the business is literally brand new, was created, a month or two ago, we may redirect that intent to get calls fast and say, hey, let's lay some foundations down first and maybe a little bit of paid lead gen. However, if we've got a business that's 2 years in, let's say, they're having cash flow issues, then there's not a lot of time that we have to go the ideal approach where we build everything up, make sure the foundation is laid. Sometimes you just got to go paid advertising, and paid advertising is profoundly useful for that use case of, hey, I need calls now or I'm not going to survive. So Google ads, Facebook ads, local services ads, just some of the paid lead gen platforms that are out there. And time is what you need to zoom in on when you're using one of these. The immediacy needs to be strong. So wrapping up with that, I think we can move on to scenario number two. Scenario number two is perhaps the customer that has a little bit more time, inclination, or understanding of marketing. Perhaps they have the big picture, they've been doing some research. These are folks that come to us and say, hey, help me build my foundation. I'm not necessarily in any rush. My business is not desperately struggling. If I don't get leads tomorrow, I'm not going to go down, but I really need to get my house in order. I need to get my building blocks down. These are guys and gals that come to us and say, hey, I've seen my friend's competitor's business boom. I understand the importance of marketing. Help me do this right and build that foundation. So, Henry, what are your thoughts on the potential customer that's approaching us with this very common situation? Help me build my foundation.
Absolutely. This is possibly the most common business owner that we deal with here
Oh yeah,
at OMG. And it's great because when we do build that foundation, not only are we helping them, be found as a local business on Google and even Facebook and Instagram, we're also building out the local directories like Bing, Yahoo, Apple Maps, Yelp, and these are important. MapQuest, even yellowpages.com, right? You remember back in the day there used to be that book, that gigantic book that used to
of
be
course,
sent
man.
to your home. Most times you just use it to make sure that the table is stable, right? You just like grab a bunch of pages off of that and stick it underneath the
Yeah,
coffee table.
been there.
But now now it's all online. And there are users that remember that book and that go to yellowpages.com. There are users that still go to Bing, and, with the resurgence of AI and Bing chat. Apple Maps keeps gaining in popularity, right? Everybody has an Apple phone, and all you got to do is click on an address, it'll take you directly to Maps and it'll take you where you need to go. Now, the foundation that is built when you create these local directories also helps Google, find and give authority to the Google page, to the Google business profile that is on that local map, right? The Google map. And when people are looking on Google Map, which is mostly everybody, right? When you're looking for something, a service or a product, even somewhere to eat, that's where you want to be found, and that's where you need to work at. So getting that directories, to all of those directories to have the same name, address, phone number, content, photos that are always publishing, even reviews on Yelp, on Facebook and Google, that is going to help boost the Google local rank on Google Maps. So a brand new business can not appear at all 1 month, and in 3 months start appearing on Google Maps and among the top of the heap, right, in their area. So that is the power of the organic foundation. Help me set up my foundation. That's a lot of the clients that we get, and we're really good at it.
100%. And from a product standpoint, I can't speak for you, Henry, but this is perhaps my favorite type of client because you get to really prove product theory. So any of you listening and watching, you probably have a friend that's, trying to lose weight or setting out for another tough goal, and you watch them put in this work, and over years you see a transformation, right? If you have the time, you have the inclination and the willpower, anything is possible. And so these organic transformations kind of help us build the stable building blocks of our clients' businesses and their longevity. So, to put that in perspective, like Henry was saying, Google and Meta, both different halves of the same coin. If we have a client on both of those platforms, we're working on them both. You can see the activity, the immense activity we're able to generate after years and years and years. So we know we can absolutely, get a home run with this sort of client. But the question is, do they have the time? Do they have the understanding and the inclination? And we're very blessed when this sort of client comes to us, because we know if they understand that it's going to take a little bit, and there's going to be some give, there's going to be some client contribution, and if they just let us run our methodology, yeah, we're going to kill it. Because as Henry was saying, these search engines, man, they love to index and provide the most authoritative and relevant, trustworthy response answers. And back in the day, you used to have that yellow book that with those directories. Now it's all online. We need to make sure that our customer, John the plumber, is John the plumber everywhere across the internet, not John the plumber here with a different phone number, not Ted the plumber over here at point B, not Chris the plumber over here on point C with the wrong address. And so there's a lot of thankless behind the scenes
Mhm.
grunt work that goes into a lot of love that is curated into this organic foundation. So it's really where the organic nitty gritty magic happens. And it may not be fun, exciting to talk about, as opposed to maybe paid advertising where you're seeing boom, 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 calls come in on the daily. But it is definitely, the most stable and foundational thing that you can do to pay yourself back, give yourself dividends years from now. So I love this customer, and I
Exactly.
think you do too, Henry.
Absolutely. And like I think the issue with most business owners and with our industry in general is how the word lead is defined, right? Most people
That's
hear
true.
lead and they hear leads fast. Fast, fast, fast. I mean, all right, yeah, there's a way to get leads fast, right? Paying Google Ads. But there's also a way to generate leads over time, LOT, leads over time, getting them in, but not having to, necessarily pay to play in that sense, right? It takes me back to the analogy of hunting versus or farming, right?
Farming.
This is farming. You are, cultivating your crop to get customer actions in the form of calls, website visits, direction requests. That is what you're harvesting at the end of your crop cycle, right? Might take a month, might take 3 months, then it might fluctuate over time. It ebbs and flows because of how Google search does things. They update their algorithm over 2,000 times last year that we know of, and I'm sure they do things under the radar that they don't tell us about. So when that happens, we see search fluctuate, and that might affect calls, but it's not something that you necessarily should be looking at, month over month, week over week, day over day. You got to look at it every 3 months, every 6
100%.
months, and then evaluate the progress and the performance. It's another analogy that I like to use is if you are day trading versus, doing, long-term trading, right?
I was
Day
going to use that
trading,
one too.
you're gonna go crazy. You're gonna get so much anxiety. It's a full-time job. You can't look at those numbers every day. You got to let your investment sit and return your dividends.
Very much so. This is very much the sustainable approach, back to your farming analogy. Like if you want to think about, a way that you don't have to, like a chump, pay for everything you get. This is very much lead gen, like you said. It's not just lead gen right now, boom, 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 tomorrow. We live in this day and age of instant gratification where everyone wants everything they want and need, and they want it right now all the time. And the beauty of the organic approach is that it's going to get you there over time. You're going to be up at the end of the day, but yes, your daily is not going to be as exciting or popping as would be, running a search, click to call, LSA, so on and so forth. But also, it's going to be more sustainable. You're not paying out of pocket every single day. So it's about time and it's about money and trade offs to, get you the right balance of both and allocating your resources effectively. And for the business that's not hurting and wants to set up themselves for the future, in conclusion, help me build my foundation. To all you Mr. and Mrs. helped me build my foundation out there. Do not sleep on the organics. There's a lot of groundwork that needs to be done here. So, with that, Henry, I'll let you introduce scenario number three. And this is Mr. and Mrs. I had a great year. Let's
Mhm.
hit everything.
This is a this is the ideal scenario,
Yeah.
right? This is a business that has enough to make a annual marketing budget, right? And that is something that all businesses should strive for. The marketing investment is very important and will give a return on investment over time. So this business in particular had a great year and now has that marketing budget to start off. And in these cases, what I recommend is getting everywhere, doing everything, having the most real estate on the Google search page as you can. Being on LSA if you have the availability, being on Google search and Google retargeting and display, being on the Google map and also on that Google organic page. The website is going to play a huge role in this case because for everything else to work properly, Google and Meta are going to need that website to be on point and to be fast and to be user friendly, to have the best user experience. Even for a business to start closing deals on that website, have a great funnel, just to make them feel like it's an experience in and of itself. And that is, something that will also take involvement from the client. And it's because they're going to want to have the website to be perfect for their industry and also for their clients in particular. And the business owner is the one that knows best in that case, right? Let's talk about an HVAC company that might have all of these services and platforms available. If they have a bad website, like no matter where people are landing from, even if they're paying for that click, that's probably not going to, turn into a job. But if you have a good website with, availability to schedule right on that website at a click of a button, and you have your available, techs ready to see that, then people are going to, convert. And that is the name of the game with this scenario. You want to keep converting, you want to keep growing. You had a great year, you want to do 100% better this year. You want to grow, and advertising is a great way to do that, but also making sure your organic foundation is set up properly is extremely important. And that starts on the website end, right? That's the most important part. Once the website is good and ready, we can continue to run ads to it, and we can make sure that the organic marketing is on point as well. Do the Google Business Profile optimization, do the directory listings optimization, do the Meta, Facebook, and Instagram optimization, continual posting, getting people to see these postings by adding some money to the back end of them, boost a continual like campaign on the Facebook and Instagram side, right? And then adding the Google ads display retargeting and meta display and retargeting. These are excellent brand recognition sources, right? These tools allow for so many more views to get onto the website. And then once they're on the website, again, we got to make sure that the user experience is there so that they can either call the client, call the business, fill out a form, email the business, or directly, get the directions from the website so that they can go to the business. And having a way to track all of that from like source to conversion, that is where the real power lies, right? That's what having a great year will get you too, like being able to understand all of that. And this is the business owner that has not only money, but patience and understanding.
100%. I can hear the passion in Henry's voice. This is his dream client, and very much so because he gets to utilize all of his expertise, omni-channel and omni-platform. To all you Mr. and Mrs., I have a great year. Let's hit everything out there. Please come talk to us. And if you don't like us, screw it. Go talk to someone else. The point is get your marketing down because that's going to be the foundation, the gift that gives back to make sure you continue having those great years. And yeah, to wrap it all up, it's very common sense, you guys. If you are looking for a business and if you see their name three different times on the page on three different layers, guess what? They're going to stay in your psyche a little bit. Even if you don't convert, they have now lived rent free in your mind, at least throughout this possible engagement, right? And that's the very no nonsense logic behind this is if you have the funds and if you have the inclination, you want to be in as many places as you can. And the funds are not limited, great. You're going to have an organic approach. You're going to have the Facebook and Meta side banging with together with the Google side revolving all around the strong website, like Henry said. And then, yeah, you're probably going to add in some paid advertising to augment those goals as well. You want, again, to balance risk, money, and time. You want to get that leads over time, Henry was saying with the organic. Plus, you want to get boom, boom, boom leads now with paid lead gen. So this is an awesome circumstance to be. It's certainly, we want more of these clients. We love because we get to show value very fast with all the tools at our disposal. And so if you've had a great year, you want to hit everything, start now. It's no time like the present. Come hit us up. Now, finally, we've got our last scenario that we see here. And this one is also going to excite our friend Henry here because he gets to talk a lot about a piece of the conversation that's often left out, right? Highly visual service-based businesses and often high ticket. So whenever you're thinking highly visual, guys, I want you to think about like painters. I want you to think about restaurants. I want you to think about Henry can probably get better ideas for you, but not just, okay, I need a plumber. He's going to work underneath my sink. May not be the most very necessary, but may not be the most glamorous thing. I want you to think Instagram and Meta and have all these thoughts going through your brain right now. But Henry, tie it together, man. What do you think of this high ticket visual service based business example? What are we doing for them?
Absolutely. So this is a business that will definitely benefit from display and retargeting on both Google and Meta. Again, to do this, we'll have to have a good website to be able to get our cookies on their browsing extension, and then to be able to follow them throughout the web. It's important because with this, we can also target people that have, specific interests and specific, demographics, right? So that gives us a way to get videos, shorts, all kinds of content into the eyes of, very specific customers that, a landscaper, a remodeler might want to get their, projects in front of. Let's talk about pool remodeling, right? You have a pool, might have been done in the 80s and you want to get it updated. Great way to get people to look at in a project is Instagram, Facebook Shorts, even TikTok, right? But you have to have great content. You have to have high quality video. You got to think about this like an actual television commercial, right? High production value. And
Mm-hmm.
with that, you get the production team with the drone and go in and actually do a before and an after video of your projects and do multiple, right? Not only that, you could do that with, like, let's talk about a lawyer, right? A lawyer, a DUI
Stole my
guy
example. I
that
wanted to talk about that so bad.
that might, have a lot of content available for people, that might not understand or know necessarily what to do when they get stopped by a police officer in their car, and that's really important stuff. And you can make it fun, you can make it engaging, you can put money behind it, and then when people do click on it, and even if they don't convert, then you get your cookie on them and you start following them throughout their internet browsing experience, and then the more times that they see you, the more, brand recognition that you get. And that's what it's about, right? Like using these platforms for brand recognition, for when the need comes, because these are high value, high ticket items. Re-roofing or getting a new roof, getting sun panels on your roof, things like that. You want to look at past projects and see what these contractors are capable of, even if in a restaurant, right? How many times have you seen a really nice burger on a sponsored Instagram post, clicked on it, and it turns out it's a local restaurant? That's great marketing and great advertising, right? But if you click on it and you find that it doesn't have an Instagram page, no photos, no organic stuff, you could probably not visit that
And they're wasting
restaurant.
money. Yeah.
And they're wasting money. Yes, sir. So this one goes right in line with the client that has the marketing budget, right? That has money and that understands, marketing and advertising, and has patience and understands how to look and to read ROI using, all of the tracking tools. To me, it's so much better nowadays using Google Analytics and the meta tracking tools, even the Google Ads tracking tools, because you can actually see ROI here now in 2023. A lot of business owners that were doing business 20 years ago would have to hope that their investment in the yellow pages actually paid off, right? And the
Mhm.
more that you paid them, it was a $10,000 like thing for the year for like half a page, right? And then what? How do you know if that actually works? Do you have to ask people, and will they
Fake
tell you? Same thing with a billboard. How much does a billboard cost, and how much ROI can you track from that?
it's a
Almost
gamble.
zero.
Yeah.
What about, television and advertising? You're going to tell me that that's better than, doing it on YouTube or
Mm-mm.
TikTok? Not at all. And you can track ROI, which is the most important thing on all of these platforms, even the organic side. So that to me just outweighs any, offline marketing benefits, but it's a good thing to do if you have the money, some offline marketing. But this is where you need to start, and this is something that a business owner should never, not do, because if you'd be doing business in 1995.
Well said, my friend. I think that so the summary is high ticket visual service based business, social media, visual mediums, Instagram, Meta, TikTok. These need to be fully thought out and worked on. We didn't mention Google much in the conversation here, but we brought it up in YouTube ads, display, and retargeting. But don't forget the Google piece as well. Google is a piece, obviously, in this answer, and the larger piece is definitely, I think we can both agree on, social media. It's those two things kind of dancing together and doing the tango. So I also want to call everyone's attention to Henry with the lawyer example. When we started this, this example, this chapter 4, we were talking about highly visual, but then Henry gave y'all a lawyer example. You don't traditionally think of a lawyer as being highly visual, but these guys are using humor and they're teaching you and they're captivating your attention all at the same time by using these visual mediums. So that's just a great, real life demo on breaking the mold and doing something unconventionally. So on that note, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with us this episode. We went through 4 big scenarios here, and I hope that you were able to learn a little bit from each one, or at the very least, bounce to which one you feel most applies to your business. Thank you for kicking it with us. I'm Ajay, this is Henry, and we'll see you guys for the next one. Take care.
Thank you, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, and share.
Heck yeah. See you guys.